And the lineup that'll face off in Game 7 looks like this. It is a little bit different. Josh Naylor moves up a spot and bats third. He's been the best hitter for the Mariners. Get him one spot higher in the order. And then the other changes down at the bottom were Victor Robles, who was benched after Game 3, is back in there for the first time.
Yeah, this is he swung at a lot of first pitches, has Julio Rodriguez, and you know he wants to make a moment and stand out. He hasn't gotten a hit in that leadoff spot. What a time to start getting going in one game where nothing previously matters.
Quinn Walcott behind home plate says play ball. Fasten those seatbelts. Off we go in Game 7 with ball 1 from Shane Bieber. Rodriguez homered against Bieber in Game 3. He then singled against him. He does not have a hit since. 0 for his last 12. On the ground, and there's a hit to snap the skid into the corner. Extra bases for Julio Rodriguez to start Game 7, and there is your first star making an impact.
There's a moment, and you know the guy that's coming to the plate, he's beat up, tired, he's hit some homers, but what he's got on his mind is drive him in, get him over, drive him in, and in Game 7, whoever gets that first third of the game really puts the manager in a nice spot from a decision-making spot. And man on second, nobody out. Seattle must score this run against an offense that is pretty darn good on the other side.
Cal Raleigh drove in more runs than anybody in baseball this year. Stands in there. And it couldn't end the way that it went last night. That can't be the final note in this record-setting season for Raleigh. Struck out 3 times, committed an error. That's the first time in his career he's had a game like that. And it just wouldn't be right for that to be the lasting memory for a guy who's hit 64 home runs. And a 1-0 from Bieber. Raleigh swings and misses.
That's the one thing they've been doing a good job of, getting the ball inside. And then every once in a while, once they've established inside, they can climb the ladder. And so missing that barrel where he's trying to get out in front, hook the ball, and oh boy, that was it. Hook the ball and get it in the air at least to get Julio over to third.
Boy, a good throw there makes that interesting. Yeah. The Mariners had the magic of Game 5. To get to within a win of the World Series, and then they could not have played a whole lot worse than they did last night with a chance to go to the World Series for the first time. 3 errors, 3 double plays they hit into, way too many strikeouts. Here's a bouncing ball that will go just foul. And so 1-2 on Raleigh. Now the slider against the Yankees for Shane Bieber was not good. He lasted just 2 2/3, but he brought it back with a vengeance. Had a bunch of swing and miss.
Yeah, he made great adjustments. Even broke in his curveball. And that cutter was a big pitch also. His feel for pitching is so good. And we talked about it a couple starts ago on how Tommy John, one start you have it, one you don't. This one was not one of those good sliders. Early on, he's been flat, and then for whatever reason, he's connected later in the game.
Here's 1-2 to the dumper. This is outside, and it's 2-2. This is one of the best swing and miss pitches in baseball the last 2 months after he was activated and had those 7 whiffs on 12 swings against a swing and miss lineup that is needed to run into him to win games. Nobody's hit him out more than this guy. 2-2 on Cal Raleigh. Full count. It was 2-0, 3 batters into the game in Game 3 against Shane Bieber. Rodriguez took him deep. He went into the dugout after that first inning, though, having given up a couple runs, and said to his hitters, guys, I got my good stuff tonight. Stick with me. Get me a few. I got you. And gave up just 2 base runners the rest of the way. There's 3-2. Is ripped down the line, foul.
It's always interesting. The crowd's in an anxious place. They're the home crowd. They want to see a 0 go up so badly and then not watch their offense try to take the lead. And obviously on the road in Game 7, that you could do the opposite effect and just dim the crowd's excitement a little bit with another big hit.
Here's another 3-2 from Bieber. It's a fastball to finish him off.
I mean, that's a great pitch to a great hitter. Tied him up inside and established an incredible at bat that he got him inside conscious. And then I said, when you can get him inside conscious, you can get him up out. And he did.
Raleigh unable to advance the runner. Josh Naylor comes up, takes ball one high. The Mariners have hit more home runs than the Blue Jays have in this series, but the Blue Jays hitting .297 in the postseason. The Mariners hitting .215. They've struck out twice as much, and the strikeout means they don't get the 90 feet here. Naylor's been their best hitter. He's been the exception to all the swing and miss and the low averages. Josh is hitting .484 in his last 8 games. And he moves up tonight and bats third for the first time as a Mariner. On this 1-0 pitch from Shane Bieber. Naylor grounds it foul.
Same approach. Crowd him with cutters and sliders and then try to get him to chase up, which he did in Seattle, and he got a swing and miss on a strikeout. And then the cutter he got up, he was able to ground out to second base.
We talk about this team needing the big hit. Well, he got the Game 7 shoes, by the way. Talk about him needing the big homer, but if there is a guy in this lineup you can count on to give him the simple big base hit, it would be Josh Naylor. They rode to that winning streak in September, helped them win the division. It's a thing, by the way, these gems. Need to get you some for the World Series.
I might sport some of those.
Your bedazzled tie. Ball and a strike on Naylor. Bieber stares at Rodriguez and fires, missing away with a change.
Well, I saw Seattle go through their pregame. They looked loose, throwing the football, doing all the things you got to do to get ready for a Game 7. But then once you get in between the lines, there's the emotion of this game and slowing that heartbeat and playing baseball. Easier said than done.
Shane Bieber, who is 30 years old, he's in his 7th season in the major leagues. John Schneider talks about trusting him, and you can see why it's a personality you can trust.
Yeah. No, you got to have that mindset. Look, we might give up a run or two, but it's not the end of the world.
Ground ball right side past Guerrero. Here comes Rodriguez. Barger has a cannon, but the throw is late, and Seattle is on the board in the first inning of Game 7. Josh Naylor drives in Julio Rodriguez, and the Mariners take advantage of the leadoff double.
And that is a big, big run. That's only their 5th run produced not by a home run with runners in scoring position. So they rely on the long ball for sure, but that hit right there got them a run they could. When you get on the road, you want to get ahead and, again, dim the crowd, which is going to be electric.
The last time they played in a winner-take-all game, Game 5 against the Tigers, this was the hero, Jorge Polanco, 15th inning, walk-off hit. Has not been the same lately, though. 0 for his last 12. Here's an 0-1. Polanco takes a ball. Got off to a good start in this series as well. That 4 hits, knocked in 5 over the first 2 games. The 1 for 13 beginning in Game 3. Since he's moved to the DH, he was playing second base, and there's something to the idea of getting into the rhythm of being a position player versus killing time as the DH. But it's something he did throughout the year. Dan Wilson before the game shot down that there was any tie to that. Welcome to the time of year where everything becomes a story. Shane Bieber has given up a run in the first inning in all 3 of his postseason starts. He'll try to make this one more like Game 3 than it was against the Yankees, where he never could find it. Down the corner here with a change, evens the count 2-2.
A lot of off speeds in the times that Shane Bieber has thrown to Polanco. Only 1 fastball so far. Everything else off speed.
Long pause. Naylor dancing over there. 2-2 in the dirt. Good pick by Kirk. Josh Naylor, if you happen to be just tuning into this series late, is, besides being a good hitter for average, a good hitter for power, he's a stolen base maven. He is. 21 out of 21 since going to the Mariners.
I think you got to send him here and trust that the ability to put bat on the ball by Polanco is pretty good. You got to send him and get him in motion.
On a 3-2 pitch. Check out. He's the second slowest runner in the major leagues. Only Alejandro Kirk, the catcher for the Blue Jays, is slower. Yet the intensity that he runs the bases with, studies the pitchers closely. He's been perfect. He's not going. Here's a bouncing ball left side. Cut off by Clement. The third baseman hits the runner. They get the out at second, but they won't get a double play. Wow. Onus is on Clement to avoid the runner. Naylor didn't do anything to go out of his way to have that throw hit him. And so the inning continues. Well, I don't know that he didn't do anything. In fact, I changed what I said. It's a jump into the throw, and I guess John Schneider, upon seeing it a second time there, does have a case.
Well, they teach you to make the guy get down. You throw right at him, and he turned his back and actually kind of jumped. So
and the entire umpiring crew getting together here.
I mean, right here, you just throw right at them. And normally they slide and get down. This was not slide and get down.
Yeah, and as long as you're not making deliberate contact with the throw, you're not going out of your way to deliberately contact the throw. And you could make an argument that that's what that is, even though it's also, that's kind of what you do when you're getting out of the way. Rarely does an umpire make that call. But they are going to say that he did go out of his way. And it's an interference on Naylor. So a double play finishes off the inning. Mariners get on the board in the first inning on a base hit from Naylor, scoring Rodriguez. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by FanDuel Sportsbook. Play your game. Back in Toronto, the Blue Jays coming to bat in Game 7. Springer, Lucas, and Guerrero. Kirk bats cleanup. Dalton Varsho's in center field, and Ernie Clement at third base hitting sixth. Addison Barcher's turned it on the last couple days with Kiner Falefa at second. Andres Jimenez out of the 9th spot, starting at short. George Kirby, as the Mariners try to bounce back, so does George, because he gave up 8 runs, John, in Game 3.
Yeah, he has a chance to atone for that start uncharacteristically. I think he's got to use more four-seam fastball, but he went with a lot of two-seamers, caught too much of the plate, and therefore relied on that meat of the plate, and the Toronto Blue Jays took advantage of it. Look, he's got a 1-run lead. It's not a 1-run excuse to give up a run, but it's nice to have a 1-run lead. Just each inning get the first batter out.
George Springer will lead things off. It's the ultimate strength against strength matchup. George Springer is in the zone more than anybody, and this Blue Jays team prides itself on attacking pitches aggressively in that strike zone. They were ready for him in Game 3. 8 runs allowed, the most ever in the postseason. Springer gets buzzed by a first pitch fastball. The crowd revved up by that. Springer 2 games ago got drilled in the knee by a 97-mile-per-hour fastball. And it was a bit of a surprise to be in there for Game 6, playing through that sore knee here in Game 7. The 1-0. Tight again. Ball 2. Back-to-back sinkers to begin.
Well, this is the pitch in. Just to keep him honest, a lot of first pitch swinging out of Springer.
Homered against Kirby in Game 3. He's hit 3 home runs in this postseason. He's hit 22 home runs in his postseason career. That's top 5 all time. George Kirby, 27 years old, out of Rye, New York. In his 4th season in the big leagues. Home with a 2-1, and it's fouled off 2-2. Heavy with a sinker again, and that sinker usage has gone way up, way up, way up. 29 of them in Game 3. Didn't get a single swing and miss.
Yeah, that's a surprise to me. I mean, again, look, in fairness, these guys have been pushed to the limit up until this point. This is a regular rest for him. So making the necessary adjustments once you get your regular rest and you see the video and you see what you did wrong, he's not going to be given a freedom to just keep pounding away if he's not making good pitches. But still, he's got a better chance tonight to be effective than he did in that previous game.
Springer leading off Game 7 with a walk.
Game 3, you had too many pitches in the heart of the plate, and when you have that against a lineup that doesn't swing and miss, you get a little bit of a shock to your system by Jimenez. This one straightaway center off the plate, a little bit from center, and then of course you got the best hitter in the game right now. You can make that argument. He's as hot as anybody, and that is too much of the plate. Like, for a 4-seam fastball up, it plays better than a 2-seamer in the middle of the plate.
Nathan Lucas takes away for a ball. George Kirby trying to be like George Kirby from the winner-take-all division series game when he was right there with Tarek Skubal, went 5 innings and looked like he could have gone deeper.
Exactly, and a lot of adrenaline in that game. Obviously, it's just been up to notch in Game 7.
Yeah, this one on the road. Lucas takes a strike. Nathan Lucas, 2 more hits yesterday. His average up to 343 for the postseason, and this is a guy who started the season one of the last guys on the roster. Spent about a decade in the minor leagues before latching in the bigs, and here he is hitting second and delivering. Fly to left to Rosarena. Has room.
See, with the exception of the next 2 batters, I think that's what Kirby does best, is get the fastball up to your point and beats the barrel of the bat. Now, these next 2 hitters are going to have a hard time doing that.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr., if it wasn't for what Ohtani did in the last game of the division series, you'd say this is the best hitter on the planet at the moment. He's right there with Shohei Ohtani. He's 9 out of his last 15. In this series, 3 home runs and just 1 strikeout. Fastball for a strike.
Great pitch to start the at-bat. Again, he will hit a ground ball on a low breaking ball, low slider over the middle of the plate. But if you don't get it low and you don't paint the inside part of the plate, he owns everything else away.
Homered against Kirby in Game 3. 0-2.
Now there he crossed him up. I'm sure Guerrero was 100% confident that a breaking ball was coming right there. So he backed up fastball, not where he wanted it.
And it seems like I'd take too many strikes in this postseason. Springer at first, 1 away. Here's the 0-2. Hit hard and through. 10 out of his last 16. Jay's looking to punch right back. First and second with 1 away.
Yeah, great hitters. They don't see 3 in a row and not do something with it. And that's why the second one surprised him. The third one was not. He was on it.
He has hit everything in this postseason, every pitch type, every location. Tying run into scoring position. Alejandro Kirk to the plate. It's another one of those good high fastball hitters.
He is, and the timing looks like it's getting a little bit better. He went through a period there where a little too much movement forward to try to attack the baseball, getting underneath it and probably missing his pitches.
Which is 217 in this series. John Schneider was saying, though, just kind of lull you to sleep, and just when you're falling asleep, that's when bang, Alejandro Kirk will get you. Off of Raleigh's glove, keeps it close, and Springer on that bad knee thinks better of moving.
The type of breaking ball that Kirby has, it's really important that he stays back and trusts that he can spin it in the middle of the zone and end up away. When you pull that and try to break it really big, which is natural, by the way, in a Game 7, you start missing with a non-competitive pitch. That pitch starts middle of the plate, he's fine. If it starts outer corner, it's a non-competitive pitch.
How do you not come on this stage and do more? Try to do more than's gotten you here.
That's the hard part. You have to trust your instincts and your ability to command your pitches. In the regular season, nobody threw more strikes than he did. In the postseason, everything gets magnified. You start trying to be extra fine, and that's when you get in trouble.
Meanwhile, Carolli with a visit. Yeah, he's hit 64 home runs. But they talk about this side of his game being the one that really solidifies his MVP case. Always seems to have the perfect timing and the right thing to say on those visits. A lot of times it's not even about baseball. It's just something to slow things down and get you back on track. See if he delivered the right message. With his counterpart Kirk at the plate. Kirby's 1-0. Ball 2.
That was a good one, though. He didn't get the call, but he made the adjustments and stayed over the plate. That was a good slider. Thing broke down and froze him, but didn't get the call.
Here's a 2-0. Kirk takes a strike. 98 dives back in there, and he again is going sinker heavy.
Well, sinker here, pretty much trying to entice that ground ball to turn that double play.
Walking a single. 2-1 to the plate. Very high on Kirk for ball 3.
Early on, pitch of the night, right? You don't get many opportunities in a Game 7 to work your way out of too many jams.
Kirk takes a strike. Caught the outside corner with a 4-seam.
Great pitch, man.
Two on with 1 out and a 3-2 pitch from George Kirby. A lot of foul ground over there, but this will reach the seats. Alejandro Kirk, 26 years old. 4 full seasons in the major leagues. Been an all-star twice. Unofficial captain of this Blue Jays team. Doesn't say a whole lot, but they know that in the biggest moments, this is the guy they can count on. Like the last day of the regular season when they needed a win to win the division, he had a grand slam. On another payoff from Kirby. Fouls it off and stays alive. This is his superpower here. He is so tough to put away. The best hitter in baseball with 2 strikes. On the 8th pitch, Kirk swings and fouls it into the glove. Strike 3. Kirby gets Kirk 2 gone in the first.
Yeah, that was a great pitch and a confidence builder for the young man. He seems calm, cool, and collected, but you know what's going in his mind is the last outing he faced these guys in the first inning already in some hot mess with runners on first and second, but that'll help a little bit.
Both teams got the leadoff man on in this first inning. Mariners were able to cash in. Blue Jays now down to 2 outs with Dalton Varsho climbing in. Tough one to get to right there. First pitch slider. This is where one of the big differences has been, John. The bottom half of the order for the Blue Jays dominant in the wins.
Yeah, they're relentless, and they really have passed the torch, right? Next guy up, but it's working.
Varsho grounds one through into center field. Springer chucks for the plate and ties the game. Both teams with a first inning run. Varsho knocks in Springer.
ball down, and he does a great job and just goes right up the middle. They were playing the pull.
Well, the bottom 5 in Toronto's order in the wins in this series, hitting .383, 18 runs batted in. And this has been the biggest guy in that story, Ernie Clement. Strike one. He's never met a pitch that he didn't like.
No, but it's rare that he'll swing and miss, but he definitely is a hit machine this postseason.
Doubled on a triple yesterday, 447 in the playoffs. 2 on, 2 out. Clement chops it foul. Strike 2. This has been the difference. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to slice this series, but the biggest separator has been the depth of the Toronto lineup versus what Seattle has.
No, it's built differently, so they're gonna approach it differently.
Glad at third, Varsho at first. 0-2 from Kirby. There goes the runner on a drive to center field. Rodriguez goes back. He's got a beat on it to end the inning. All right, series tied at 3. Game tied at 1. Mariners take advantage of the leadoff double from Julio Rodriguez. Jays take advantage of the leadoff walk. We're off and rolling in Game 7. Back in Toronto, Randy Rosarena leads off, takes strike 1 from Shane Bieber.
Well, if you're keeping track of our open and the stars must show up, checkmate. Rodriguez double, Vladdy gets an RBI or gets a hit to get the situation for his next hitter. 2 hitters from there to tie it up. So the stars have to show up early on. They have.
We got to wait on checkmate though. We still got 8 innings at least in this game. Just do check. Wait for the end for checkmate.
That's true.
But I love him showing up. These Game 7s compress everything you love about baseball, amplify it. 1 game. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Randy Rosarena. It was 0 for 10 in his career against Shane Bieber. 6 strikeouts, gathering a little bit of momentum. The Mariners hope from getting 2 hits last night. Doubled his total for the series. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball, base hit into center field under Jimenez. Leadoff man on again, and it has been in all 3 half innings in this game.
So much for no stress.
Right?
Yeah, that's step 1 hasn't been executed yet. And now there'll be some stress on the bases for the Blue Jays with the speed of Rosarena.
Well, he's not gotten on too often, but when he has, it's been almost a sure thing that he's coming to score, and a pretty safe bet that he'll try to steal a base. The hitter Suarez. Now here's where you got to be careful not to leave one near the middle of the plate, because this guy will punish it. As he did in Game 5. 2 home runs, including the grand slam that they'll talk about forever in Seattle. On the 1-0, he left it over the plate, and it smacked into center field, a base hit. Back-to-back hits to open the second for the Mariners. Things not quite turning the corner like it was last week.
It's not. There's some hittable pitches, and you don't want that now. Your manager's going to take notice and really start, the wheels start turning. When that pitch backs up, he's lucky it backed up and kind of jammed him, because those are recipes for deep fly balls that don't come back.
First to aboard. Here's J.P. Crawford. Clement in front of the bag at third. Squares. Bunts it. Bieber's only players at first. Successful sacrifice from J.P. Crawford. The Mariners playing a little bit of small ball right here to advance the runners to second and third.
Trusting that Rivas is going to be able to put the ball in play. I'm assuming the infield will be in. Right away, pressure on the home team.
Rivas in the lineup. One of the reasons that he is that he gives them something they don't have a whole lot of, and that is that bat-to-ball ability.
They're going to trust their offense and play the infield back and concede 1 run. I kind of like that.
We've seen more teams, it seems like, be aggressive in these situations in the playoffs.
Yeah, bringing the infield in brings in the bluebird, the little jam shot that then scores 2 runs. In this case, you're defending against 2 runs and giving up 1, unless he hits one to the third baseman or to Guerrero, who are in.
Rivas fouls it off, looking for a strikeout now. We're already talking about the bottom of the order for the Blue Jays. Opposite story for the Mariners. 113 average for the bottom 3. They have changed things up there tonight. Rivas slides up a spot. Victor Robles back into the lineup for the first time since game 3. He's on deck.
So now Rivas has got to do whatever it takes to put the ball in play, wherever that is. We've seen ball hit back to the pitcher and they throw it away. But strikeouts don't advance anybody. And there's the strikeout comparison, which is lopsided. But again, game 7.
Rivas chokes up and strikes out. Bieber backfoots the breaking pitch. 2 out.
Experienced pitch. And missing it by a foot. That's really trying to make it happen. And another strikeout for the Seattle Mariners offense.
Or the one guy that's supposed to be able to count on to not do that. Rivas down on strikes, and it's up to the new guy in the lineup, Victor Robles. Game finds him. Second and third, 2 away. Bounces the first one back to Bieber, who's out of the jam. Mariners miss an opportunity in the second. T-Mobile, the best network in the game, is now the best network in America. Shane Bieber has not always been smooth coming back from Tommy John, but he's typically found a way, and he's done so to get out of a jam in the second inning, keep it a 1-1 game. Addison Barger leads off for the Blue Jays and takes downstairs.
Well, here's where confidence and experience paid off for him. His first 3 sliders in that weren't very good, 3 for 3, and then he got 2 crucial outs with that slider on a strikeout, and then that 1-3 was also a slider, so he didn't abandon it, he just made it better.
7, 8, 9 for the Blue Jays here. Barger takes a strike. Barger homered and knocked in 3 yesterday. Started this series 0 for 10. Made a little change to where his hands were in his swing. Moved him up, and he's gone 5 for 10 with 2 home runs since making that little tweak. That's foul. John Schneider has said coming into the postseason that he was curious how Addison Barger would handle this stage because he's like a bull in a china shop. They call him Bam Bam Barger. At first, he was a little bit too high strung. Yankee Stadium made an error. John Schneider said, calm down. You got to slow down. And he feels like that was a turning point. He's watched him grow and slow the game down since.
Yeah, you're going to be able to learn the more you go and the more you experience tension that isn't in a regular season game. It's hard to explain to people at home why it's so much different. The attention to everything and the detail and the questioning of every single thing. Hey, you're 0 for your last 4. What's wrong? You would never say that in the regular season.
A little bit low, 2-2. The 25-year-old in his second major league season hit just 197 as a rookie and started this season in AAA. Came up because of an injury and has thrived. Leads off the second. Chops it ball short. J.P. Crawford. Low throw dug by Naylor. MLB Together is baseball's platform embodying the sport's commitment to philanthropic causes and mental wellness efforts by teams, players, and the league. To learn more, go to MLBtogether.com. 1 away in the second. George Kirby will face Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Hit an infield single to bring in a run yesterday. Part of the defensive problems for the Mariners yesterday, credit goes to the Blue Jays, putting the ball in play, putting the pressure on them. Kiner-Falefa over to first. Naylor was positioned well to make the catch. 2 out.
Yeah, you need 1, 2, 3 innings. You need easier outs in a pressure-packed game. And the pitcher knows he's not going to be given the length, right? So you make quality outs, you bear down on every pitch, You don't have to make a perfect pitch. You just have to make sure you don't put it in the area where this team loves it.
Andres Jimenez with a cue shot to short. Crawford running, throw is wide. Nearly comes off of the bag to keep it from getting by, and then tries to deke him into turning the corner, acting like he's chasing that ball, but Jimenez wouldn't bite.
That was really it's not an innocent infield hit, because the reality of this lineup, the more times you turn it over to the top, like, it seems like they get 5 at-bats every game, right? Because they have such lengthy innings. Even if they don't produce a crooked number, we're already back to the top of the lineup with Springer.
Yeah, just constant stress put on by this Jays lineup. Springer, who walked to open the game, came to score their run, takes high. Jimenez, by the way, 12 stolen bases this year. Jays, an aggressive base running team. There he goes. Now he holds off. 2-0 on Springer. This is something early on this year when the Jays really leaned into being a high contact, high average team. They said, if we're going to do that, we also got to be better on the bases. Chopper, Suarez. And so the infield hit with 2 out doesn't come back to bite him. We're through 2 innings in Game 7 and tied at 1. It's the top of the Seattle order coming up. Rodriguez started the game with a double. He'll start the 3rd. This March, country over club. Aaron Judge suits up for Team USA for the first time. Cal Raleigh will be there as well. Bobby Witt Jr., Team USA, and the World Baseball Classic. You can watch it all only on Fox. Tied at 1 to the top of the 3rd. Top of the order, Julio Rodriguez, always aggressive, fouls off Bieber's first pitch. Started this game by snapping an 0 for 12 with a double, and came in to score Seattle's run. A little bit of pain after fouling that ball off himself.
Only one thing he could have done with that pitch. It was so good inside that fouling it off himself was.
You need a bigger one.
Or hitting it foul would have been the only 2 results.
Always misses the dang pad. If he put it higher, the ball would have hit higher.
Yeah.
Training staff's out to take a look at Julio. As talented as they come. I mean, really, this emergence of the Mariners, you can draw it back to when they signed him in 2017, one of the top young prospects in the game out of the Dominican Republic. Makes it to the major leagues in 2022. They hadn't been to the postseason in 21 years since that record-setting 2001 season. Then he arrived, delivered on the expectations, won Rookie of the Year. And with that comes even more expectations, even more pressure. And so even though he's been spectacular for a long stretch pretty much each season, kind of a polarizing guy in Seattle because it was so heavy, the expectations with the big rookie season, with the big contract that he signed at the end of it. He got a chance to justify all of that with one big performance in Game 7. On an 0-2 from Bieber. He lays off.
Close.
Strong dude holding that bat back. 1-2. Lays off. 6'3", 230 pounds. He can fly. He can hit it as hard as anybody. Freak.
It's amazing how big he is up close.
Now the Loma de Cabrera, Dominican Republic. Still just 24 years of age. Biggest game of his life here tonight. Chopper down to 3rd. That is a foul ball. He's already got a couple 30-30 seasons. Second player in Major League history to have 2 30-30 seasons, 24 or younger. And he's the only guy in Major League history to have 110 home runs and 110 stolen bases over his first 4 seasons.
That's pretty special.
This year overshadowed by what Cal Raleigh has done, and I think the bulk of the story overshadowed by the ups and downs that have led to that. Bad first halves, big second halves. But you got to remember, this is still a young player. There's a lot of guys breaking into the major leagues at 24. He's in his 4th year as the franchise star.
Not easy, really, to move in the leadoff spot mid-series, right? But they had to do something with their offense and struggling, and see if it pays off tonight. Already a double.
And now a 2-2 pitch. And a high drive to left center field. Lucas on the run. That ball's gone. Julio Rodriguez, in the biggest game of his life, is delivering. Doubles and scores in the first, homers in the third, and it's 2-1 Seattle.
Makes it easier jogging after you foul one off your shin. There's the foul ball. Misses the pad. And then there is the hanger, and he didn't miss it.
Second time that he's homered against Bieber in this series. Mariners back in front. Raleigh with a bouncing ball to first. Guerrero's there. He'll feed Bieber for the first out.
You can't see his eyes, but they lit up right there. When a hitter gets a ball in that spot with that spin, he gets launched.
One of the best home run hitting teams in baseball. Only the Yankees relied on home runs more statistically than the Mariners did. And now 22 out of the 29 runs in this series have come like that. Naylor hooks one down the line. Barger's there. A 2-1 game in the top of the third. Jorge Polanco comes up. And that slider that was his best pitch in game 3 helped him go 6 innings, get a bunch of swing and miss, 4 out of 6. Both the home run and the double for Rodriguez coming off that pitch.
Yeah, the good ones have been really good. The bad ones have been flat in the middle of the zone.
Still nobody warming down in that Toronto bullpen. 2-0 on Polanco. So much hinges on the manager's decisions. How aggressive are they? It's a fine line between moving too early or then being too late. John Schneider, 3rd full season as the manager. On the other side, Dan Wilson in his 1st. Two and two. Full count.
Well, there's been a lot of good swings already by the offense, so nobody's really. Maybe Rivas got a little outside himself with that swing and miss, but they seem pretty connected. I know it sounds boring, but when a hitter goes pitch to pitch and thinks hard about just one pitch at a time, that's what these games are all about.
It was hard to watch last night and not think that they were carrying some of the weight of the 48 years without going to the World Series. They just did not look like themselves. They're locked in early on in game 7. Polanco grounds one sharply and through to center field for a base hit. It's already the 6th of the game for the Mariners. Snaps an 0 for 13 for Polanco. So a couple of guys that came into this series slumping have broken it. Polanco and Suarez looked at each other like said so. One of them called it. Yeah, he's saying Polanco called it. And he got a hit of his own. And he kept alive for Rosarena. Rip and a miss. Seattle one win away from its first pennant. Rosarena 2 out of his first 17 in this series, but he's 3 for his last 5. A good regular season. Hit 27 home runs, stole 30 bases, and was an all-star. In his first full year with the Mariners. They got him at the deadline last year from Tampa. 1-2. Shane Bieber already 51 pitches.
Yeah, the pitch count will be insignificant today, but I don't doubt that anybody will get up to that number, but it's definitely been a lot of work for each pitcher.
High stress right away. Leadoff guy getting on.
Absolutely.
What, 4 to 5 half innings in this game. Here's Bieber's 2-2 pitch. Rosarena chases strike 3. For the biggest star shining brightly in this game 7. He started it with a double. He's broken the tie with a home run. Seattle's got a 2-1 lead. 1 win away from the promised land. George Kirby again finds himself pitching with the lead after the home run from Julio Rodriguez. 2-1 in game 7. 2, 3, and 4 for the Jays. It's a fastball that just misses to Nathan Lucas.
That's the pitch he has to stay attack mode with. Be aggressive with your fastball. Again, it's not a given to just say I got one room for one mistake to tie the game. Be aggressive with the fastball and see if you can get some outs. But this is uncharacteristically of him because he's such a command pitcher, or at least their staff and everything about their staff. The lineup is making them do different things, and that's a credit to the Toronto Blue Jays lineup.
This guy has the #1 strikeout to walk ratio in Major League history. He went through 24 consecutive strikes to open a game and continued to pound the zone against Toronto in game 3 and got blown up, gave up 8 runs. And I know you want to pitch to your strengths if you're a pitcher, but at some point adjust a little bit, and it's like he has.
But that's such a good pitch, and that 4-seam fastball up plays. It really does. And you know, in the regular season, you're comfortable, you got the information, there's not the stress, and you can throw 24 straight strikes. Hard to do that in the postseason when you're facing this team.
He's got 2 strikes on Lucas. Important hitter right here with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on deck. Former first-round pick Kirby turns and fires. Back to that high fastball.
The reason he's so important is the guy on deck is basically just owns you, right? I mean, I think it was Carpenter with Detroit had the same success against Kirby. And sometimes it just gets in your head as a pitcher. You're like, I don't know what to throw him. I've thrown the kitchen sink at him. He's gotten 4 hits in the last 4 bats.
Pitchers across baseball are saying, preaching to the choir, buddy. It ain't personal. He does strike out Lucas, and so faces Guerrero with the bases empty here. He had him 0-2, but then right down the middle.
Well, here's all the pitches, right? He tried to go in, he got the high chopper base hit, then tried to spin one, and he spun twice. And then he had 3 in a row. You cannot throw this guy 3 pitches in a row. You just can't. They're too good. So when you shocked him with the 2 strikes and 2 fastballs in a row, you take a little different approach.
Jam shot, shallow right. On comes Robles, out goes Rivas to put it away. And they get Guerrero on 1 pitch.
But see, that's the luxury, having a 1-run lead. Go at them, right? If they hit a homer, they get a hit off your fastball, so be it. You're not trying to throw it down the middle, but you've got to be somewhat of in the attack mode and show that Blue Jays are not afraid to mix and match in the strike zone with better stuff today than he's had in his previous start.
He's trying to get one of those clean innings nobody's had in this game. Get strike one on Alejandro Kirk. So those 8 runs that he gave up in Game 3 tied for the postseason record. By no means does that have to be what he's remembered for.
Correct.
4 Hall of Famers have given up 8 runs in a playoff game. Grover Cleveland Alexander, old low and away they called him. Maddox gave up 8 in a game. CC Sabathia. And then a future Hall of Famer in Clayton Kershaw once gave up 8 runs in a game. That does not have to be what George Kirby's remembered for. And trying to write a new chapter right away here. Everybody forget about that.
Yeah.
If he's the stud in Game 7 that gets them to their first World Series.
And like we talked about, somebody's going to have a moment. Somebody's going to remember for X. And
sharply hit to short and caught by Crawford. George Kirby saying, why not me? Through 3 innings, holding this lineup down to just 1 run.
Welcome back to Toronto. We're joined by Dan Wilson, Mariners manager. You had a long conversation with Alfonso Marquez after that top of the first on the interference call on Josh Naylor. What did the crew chief tell you?
Yeah, you know, in their opinion, looked like they thought Naylor was trying to get in the way of the throw, which, you know, that's what happens if you do it. You know, it's both outs. So that's a conversation. That's what he told me.
Your pitcher, Logan Gilbert, got through that last inning, rather Kirby last inning cleanly. What do you see from his stuff as he gets deeper into the game?
Yeah, really sharpened it up. I thought, you know, a good fastball, locating it pretty well, and the secondaries he's throwing have been spot on. So he seems to be settling into a good pace right now.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Tom.
2-1 on Eugenio Suarez.
this inning's huge for Bieber. I don't know that he'll be able to go out in the next inning. I just anticipate in the top of the lineup, so many good swings. So he's got to put a 0 up for John Schneider.
And Louis Varland has started to warm, anticipating that top of the lineup coming back around.
Yeah, he has been okay, just not sharp enough to warrant to go through that lineup with the success that Julio Rodriguez has had. So every pitcher kind of senses that and knows that. So this is, again, another 9th inning approach for a starter who realizes I got to get the 0 and see what happens.
They empty the tank here. 2-2 to Suarez. Gets a swing and a miss for his 3rd K. Or his 4th K. Here's the first out of the 4th inning.
That one had tremendous bite on it. It's just been about 50-50 on the quality of that pitch. It's the difference in the game.
1 gone in this 4th. J.P. Crawford takes outside for ball 1.
And again, remind everybody, look, Shane Bieber is a fantastic pitcher, but he is coming back from Tommy John, and they made that trade for him, hoping that this would be part of the play. And to have him pitch Game 7 is pretty incredible when you think about his comeback and everything he's going through.
Yeah, 10 starts. This is a 10th start in a year and a half. Blue Jays were betting on a few minor league rehab starts, and they were betting on the Cy Young resume. Won a Cy Young when he was in Cleveland, but they couldn't be sure what they were going to get. It was easy for them, though, to dream about him pitching on nights like this. His 10th start in the last year and a half. Game 7 of the ALCS.
See, I think that pitch is way underrated for him. I think the curveball has been way sharper than the slider, and he's gone to that slider because it feels good, and that's his secondary pitches he likes.
Here's his 2-2 to Crawford. This time last year, was rehabbing from the Tommy John. He was with Cleveland still. They were in the ALCS against the Yankees, but he had to sit off on the side and watch. And he said, as tough as that was, it was motivation. He was sitting there saying to himself, I'm going to get back here. I cannot wait to be pitching in these games again. Shakes a few times. Chooses this. It is a back foot curve, and the count is full.
Hasn't thrown a lot of changeups to the lefties. I don't know if he wants to go here 3-2 changeup away after seeing all those breaking balls.
Went fastball, poked to the left field corner, and it sails on Howard Lucas for extra bases. J.P. Crawford, just his 3rd hit of this series. The longest tenured Mariner has a 1-out double here in the 4th.
Fastball away, he stays on it. This ball slicing, but has enough room to get that easy double for the speed of Crawford.
Guy has seen so many ups and downs in his time with the team, but has locked down a key position. Shortstop, more games there than any player in Mariners history. In scoring position for Rivas. There's that change up, and it's away for ball one. Rivas is up there with second and third and one out after Crawford had sacrificed in the second, and a rare strikeout for him. Guy who is in there largely for his bat to ball ability. Chance to atone. 1-1.
Tell you what, nobody ever thinks like this anymore, but boy, as far back as Guerrero is playing, if you pulled a bunt down that line, there's no way he could get it.
That's the change right there.
But everybody wants to hit. I get it. Sometimes you got to take what they're giving you, and it's a moot point now with 2 strikes. His off speed has really given Rivas issues.
Bieber nearing the end of the line tonight. Here's 1-2 to Rivas. Got him again.
I mean, nowhere close. He's missing this by 2 feet. And so great pitches, great selection. And now probably the last hitter for Shane Bieber.
With Rodriguez on deck, it's Robles at the plate. Victor Robles swings and misses.
Same thing here. If he throws 3 straight sliders or 4, whatever it takes, Robles has not been able to stay off that pitch in the at-bats that he's had against Shane Bieber.
Robles 3 out of 27 in the postseason. Down an 0-1. Lays off this time. The Mariners have the big home run from Julio Rodriguez, but their issues with runners in scoring position have persisted in this game. 1 for 5, 3 strikeouts. On a 1-1 pitch, Robles calmly takes ball 2, putting the pressure on Bieber here.
Yeah, that one wasn't as close enough to the strike zone for Robles.
Bieber's 2-1. Will come after a toss to second.
Hard to believe we're in the 4th. The game does seem slower in a Game 7 when your microscope is on every pitch, every play.
Didn't get the call there. 3-1 on Robles, and Shane Bieber giving some of his mind to Quinn Wolcott. Fires it right back to him. Rodriguez looms on deck. Varland's ready in the bullpen. Bieber's 3-1. He's walked the 9-hitter. And that's going to end his night.
Well, it was either going to end his night or he was going to get tossed. The umpire is going to show him some patience.
So Victor Robles plugged back into the lineup after he was benched after Game 3. Trying to get a spark, get a different guy in the order.
He still might get tossed, by the way.
Yeah,
it's not out of toss, by the way.
Yeah, might as well get your money's worth at this point. You're leaving the game. They believe that they can get to the World Series for the first time. Julio Rodriguez, a double, a home run, 2-run score. He comes up when you come back. All Shane Bieber can do is watch as Louis Varland takes over. Rubber arm Louis. This is the 10th game he's pitched in out of the 11 they've had in the playoffs.
I want to say I don't know what's going to happen on this at bat, but Robles great at bat to draw that walk. It's not understated how important that was to get this situation.
Rodriguez swings and misses. He has faced Varland 3 times in this series and struck out twice. Doubled in the second pitch of the game. Came in to score that massive first run. And after the Jays had tied it, broke it with a home run in the third. On an 0-1. Takes Sloan away. One ball, one strike.
We've been following this whole Toronto series, and this poor guy, man, he has been in every tough situation imaginable. Coming in with runners on, facing the team's best hitters, it seems like all the time.
Another 1 1/3 last night. Here's his 1-1. Bouncing ball left side. Easy play. Clement takes his time and ends the inning. Louis Varland gets the job done and keeps it a 2-1 game.
Welcome back to Toronto. We're here with Toronto Blue Jays manager John Schneider. John, Louis Varland, that's 10 appearances in 11 postseason games. What is it about him that makes you trust him so much?
His personality, for one, and then obviously his stuff. You know, he maintains his stuff. He's a pretty unique guy to where the velo, shape of his pitches doesn't really vary no matter how much you use them, it seems like. So we're going to ride him as long as we can and turn it over to the next guy.
What is it that you would like your hitters to do differently against George Kirby?
I think, you know, he's not making many mistakes. You know, I think, you know, we've gotten our hits, scored a run there with Varsh in the first inning, but he's not making many mistakes. So you got to kind of be a little bit patient while still keeping a convicted approach. But he's locating the heater at the top, and he's mixing in some good breaking balls.
Finally, John, how does your bullpen set up the rest of the way?
We got everyone available. You know, we're going to try to just pick the right spot for each guy in their lineup. Right now, it's all hands on deck, and we got plenty of coverage.
John, thanks a lot. Joe, back to you.
All right, guys, his bullpen goes to work first as George Kirby continues into the fourth. 2-2 on Dalton Varsho. John Schneider, who's done his best to be the same guy no matter what every day this year, told us today that, yeah, I try to be normal, but you know what? Game 7's not normal. I got 12 different plans for tonight. And ultimately said, I'm going to read the game. I'm going to read the person, read on the people that I trust.
Do you know what's interesting? I've asked these managers this and usually get the same answer. Do you like the luxury of so many more options, or would you be like limited options? And honestly, limited options is easier, because when you have the luxury of too many options, you make decisions that put people maybe not in their perfect place, but you trust them. So too many options can be enticing.
Varsho's down on strikes with that high fastball. George Kirby looking good.
You know, I just think his fastball is better than it was last start. He had a lot of sinkers in that last start, which come back to bite him. And I think the pitch up is just a pitch he's just more comfortable with it up. It sets up everything else.
Whether that's four-seam or sinker.
Right, I agree. And typically you want two-seamers down.
Well, after they were 4 for 7 against his sinker in game 3, they're 0 for 5 against it tonight. He's continued to use it more than his four-seam, but elevating it. And, you know, for that to be the adjustment that he needs to make, that's not doing anything out of the ordinary. He throws up as much as any pitcher in baseball usually. There's 1-0 to Clement. Outside ball 2. Clement, who scorched the liner to center field his first time. Takes a strike.
You heard me talk about him before. I love his arm swing, and that arm swing behind, it's got fluidity. And if he doesn't take his left shoulder so far to first base, he's on that command, throwing strikes. Like that pull to left, the tension of your lead shoulder, your non-throwing shoulder. If you can stay in there on a two-seamer, you're going to be more directional, and you're going to be able to throw the command with velocity. But if you're trying to make that perfect pitch, you pull that left shoulder out.
Pop fly, shallow right. Rivas for out number 2. They say that part of his command being so good is how good an athlete he is. It wasn't just baseball in high school. He was the quarterback of the football team. He was a shooting guard for the basketball team, defender on the soccer team, and a good golfer too. So well-rounded athlete who can repeat that delivery.
And that's what's huge. I mean, because the ability to repeat your delivery is the reason why you throw so many strikes and you can make quality pitches.
Barger certainly could tie this game with one swing. Takes a strike. Into the top of the zone.
No idea how good of a pitch that is and what a hitter has to make the necessary adjustment. He feels like he's got to get the barrel of the bat out so much quicker. So you can follow that up with an off speed. Yeah, that's exactly the pitch and location you would go to after a hitter thinks, oh man, I gotta get out there quicker. So now he thinks that fastball's coming back and he gets a breaking ball that's underneath the barrel. It's outstanding 2-pitch selection.
Here's 1-2 to Barger. Oh, almost dove back in there. Count evens up. 3 of the first 5 hitters of this game reached base against him, and they had a run to tie it. Only 1 base runner since. The 2-2 to Barger. That's a base hit. Barger with a 2-out single.
And that one he was trying to bury low, but he kept up enough, and Barger kept his hands back this time and just shot it back up the middle. And that height of that pitch, a little higher than he wanted. And again, stress relief being with 2 outs, you give up that hit.
Well, the part of the Jays winning Game 6 was taking nothing, turn it into something with 2 outs. Counter for Leffa out of the 8th spot. Shoots one up the middle to a perfectly positioned Rivas. Takes it to the bag. Over to first. The inning is over. 2-1 game. Seattle's taking nothing, turn it into something with 2 outs. Welcome back to the 2025 American League Championship Series on Fox, presented by Loan Depot. Play Ball is baseball's global youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, go to playball.org and follow @PlayBall on X, Facebook, and Instagram. Louis Varlin retired Julio Rodriguez to finish off the 4th, and he starts Cal Raleigh with a changeup for strike 1.
Power changeup, power slider, power fastball. All of them work in accordance with one another to equalize the left-hander and the right-hander.
First time that he's faced Raleigh in this series. Varlin fires. Cal hits a high fly ball, deep right field. It is gone. Raleigh joins Rodriguez, delivering in Game 7. The 2 biggest stars for the Mariners showing up when it matters most.
This guy's amazing. Seattle knows it. The rest of the country is about to find out on the year he had and the amount of innings he's catching, and just the man, it's not that easy. It's not that easy.
5th home run of the postseason for Cal Raleigh after 60.
On the year he had.
Now Naylor wraps about to right center field. On the move is Varsho. He's there. For the first out of the 5th is Raleigh, connects on the home run.
I believe this changeup goes in the wrong spot. Yes, it does. It's supposed to be away, and it just cuts in, and that is that perfect stroke. Launching home runs all year. And says, I'm not done. Add 9.
More to dump. Well, we talked about it right off at the top. Could the stars of the Mariners outshine the stars of the Blue Jays? Both of them have gone deep in this game, and if you were to write a script for the way for the Mariners to get to the World Series for the first time, those 2 guys would be the leading characters.
Yeah, and rare that they're going to lead off in bat second, right? I mean, that's just what Dan Wilson had to do to shake up an offense that was stagnant. And we talked about it until this game. Rodriguez hadn't got a hit in that leadoff spot, so now that's put to bed. It's a pretty good stat when they get 1+ homers.
35 games above 500 when they get one, 16 games below 500 when they don't. That is a hot shot to first. Guerrero juggles, takes it to the bag. 2 out. Cal Raleigh grew up a Boston Red Sox fan. He was 7 years old in 2004 when they broke the curse, and Cal was saying the other day he remembers how much that meant to him even as a 7-year-old, and seeing some of the documentaries that have still rings true for so many people, and it got him thinking, How cool would it be to bring that same feeling to Seattle and Mariners fans everywhere? Rosarena goes around, strike one. 21st anniversary tonight of Game 7 in the American League Championship Series. And the Red Sox toppled the Yankees behind Johnny Damon's big game. 0-2.
So this is where it gets tough for Dan Wilson. Would he love to have a 3-1 lead? Absolutely. But the decision to give him a clean inning looks like it's going to be next inning with 9-1-2.
We asked him before the game, you got a few starters available. Castillo, Miller, Wu, who has missed the last month, just returned, and he said Wu's been our best guy all year. Basically, it doesn't matter that he's only pitched once in the last month. He was going to be the guy for the top spot among those three starters. A pop into shallow center field and counted for left, will put it away. Rodriguez has already made his mark. Now it's the big dumper sending one to the seats. 3-1 Seattle. One win away from a place they've never been. And back in Seattle, folks have their eyes glued. As deep as they've ever been, as close as they've ever been. Brian Wu takes over for the Mariners with a 3-1 lead in the bottom of the fifth. Andres Gimenez takes downstairs. So Wu, who had not pitched since September 20th, he was out with a pec injury, came back in game 4, or in game 5, and was sharp. He went 2 innings, gave up just 1 run. Carrara even said he was surprised how sharp it was, having missed that much time. Misses with his first 2 pitches.
He has a unique carry to his fastball, a guy who throws primarily the highest percentage of fastballs on their staff.
Gimenez, who singled his first time, takes ball 3.
Now, I told you Dan Wilson is presented with a problem. It's a good problem. It's 3-1. But you got a guy who hasn't been in his groove, and you're betting on him because he was your best pitcher all year to come in and be locked in right away. Little different circumstances, of course, in a game 7 after you missed a month, even though you had a couple innings earlier.
Now the Jays' lone run in this game came courtesy of a leadoff walk. Springer started the ball game with a walk and came in to score on a Varsho base hit. Cardinals sin any time of year, but especially in the pressure cooker of the postseason in a game 7. That's exactly what he's issued right here. A leadoff walk to the 9-hitter, no less. And speaking of Springer, here he is. Extra base machine in this postseason. Pokes it foul.
You know, people say, well, when starters get in the game, they're just pitching. Yeah, but their routine's different. They warm up differently, and never do you enter a game as a starting pitcher with this much adrenaline. You just don't. And you know it's different, so you try to tell yourself, I'm just going to get ready, make pitches. And yeah, when you get in the flow of the game, then you can return to normal.
The 0-1. Got a chase, strike 2. 49 years has become 15 outs. What is the path to the World Series for Dan Wilson and the Mariners? Could there be a world where Wu gives him 3 innings and then Munoz gives him 2, and that's it? He got a chase for strike 3. Comes back from walking Gimenez to lead off the inning to strike out Springer quickly.
That low release and great breaking ball. See that low release and then that spin tight outside. It's a good bounce back. Ideally, you don't want to face Guerrero with the tying run at the plate or the winning run at the plate. So you're a double play away from getting out of this inning.
Lucas, the hitter, fouls it off. Fastball to the inside edge. Guerrero looms on deck. 1 for 2 today. The 0-1. Very high. Blues 1-1. Bouncing ball to short, could be two. Crawford running throw, double play. There it was, and they'll face Guerrero to begin the sixth. Seattle 3, Toronto 1. Counting outs, 12 of them from the World Series. We're what the players are wearing on field during the postseason. Check out the largest selection of authentic gear at MLBshop.com for your favorite postseason team gears. For Anthony Dominguez, Groundhog's Day here, facing Eugenio Suarez with the game-winning grand slam against him in Game 5. That was the first home run that Dominguez has given up, a veteran of 23 postseason games. And it was one of the turning points of this series. His 1-0. Suarez got it off the end of the bat, left center field. Lucas coming on, gets there. J.P. Crawford comes up after a nifty play to finish off the bottom of the fifth inning.
Yeah, and his starting pitcher is super glad he's that athletic and make that play to not face Guerrero.
Ups.
Hey, listen, I watched him throw a football in batting practice. This guy can do it all.
Well, his dad is in the CFL, Canadian Football League Hall of Fame. Scorcher to second, knocked down by Connor Falefa. Scrambles to get it and throw him out. His dad was a DB with the BC Lions and actually played a year with the Toronto Argonauts. Yeah, and a Hall of Famer related to Carl Crawford as well. So the athleticism is not one bit surprising from this guy. He's out on one pitch here. Game 7, 3-1, Seattle in front. Seattle looking for its first trip to the World Series ever. Toronto trying to get there for the first time in 32 years. A strike on Rivas. 3, 4, and 5 coming up for the Jays. Vlad Guerrero to lead things off. Dominguez trying to pitch the first 1, 2, 3 inning of this game for Toronto. It's been the Mariners that put the most pressure on. And they've not necessarily cashed in on that pressure, but they've hit the home runs to overcome that. 1-1. No swing. Ball 2. Three and 2/3 from Bieber. Varland 1 1/3. And now Dominguez, home of the 2-1. Broke his bat, broke a couple bats in this inning. And he needed just 7 pitches to retire the side in order. Vlad Jr. leads things off when you come back. It's so nice when the stars show up the way these guys have all postseason long. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. lead off this inning. Cal Raleigh has gone deep. So is Julio Rodriguez. 3-1 Mariners in Game 7. Deep breath from Ryan Wu. He throws. And this is downstairs to Vlad Jr., who's 1 for 2 today. 1 for 2 today. 10 out of his last 17. Off the charts in these playoffs. More patient than ever, too. He's been more patient through the years. He's a bit of a free swinger, a little more like his dad, the Hall of Famer, when he first broke in. But chasing less and less, and chasing less than ever during these playoffs. And the pitcher, have to throw him a strike, and when I do, he crushes it. Ooh, this time, movement on that sinker, and it's 1-2.
Well, you got to go to all 4 quadrants. They went up and away and then down and in. And this one might be up and in if you want to make it the other quadrant, and then you can open up the outside part of the plate. He's taken the soul away from the Seattle pitchers on how to get him out.
The 1-2 lays off. That swing and miss right there was only his 9th of the playoffs. Prior to that, he had as many extra base hits in the playoffs as he did swings and misses. It's the best combination of power and contact statistically we've ever seen in the postseason. 2-2. Fouls it off and stays alive.
See, that's the pitch I would have gone to right after he got the swing and miss down and in, then go away with the breaking ball. So now he can do that. He's opened up the inside. You got to make a hitter conscious of, I got to wait a little bit now because I'm not sure if he's going to double up in there or he's going to try to pitch away.
On a 2-2. Guerrero fouls it again. Kirk and Varsho to follow. Blue Jays offense that has led the way in this postseason, but has been boom or bust. 9 a game in the wins, 3 a game in the losses. Can it wake up one more time? Another 2-2. Eighth pitch. There'll be a ninth. What do you like?
Wow, I tell you, I mean, he's done about as good as you can do. Breaking ball away right now. He's made him real conscious inside.
To the target set. That's where he went, and he finished him off. Only the 3rd strikeout of the playoffs for Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
It's just a byproduct of making so many good pitches inside that now he's got to protect inside, and then he just is swinging to try to foul it off on the outside part of the plate. So great pitching to one of the better hitters in our game.
One out in the 6th inning. Alejandro Kirk, and who's got that look in his eye? A little snarl going here in Game 7. Inside and a ball on Kirk. This is only the 2nd time, the first time being Game 5, that he's pitched out of the bullpen since he was in college at Cal Poly. Taken well to the roll. Delivering 1-0. You know, pitching, the foundation of this Mariners organization. They targeted pitching in the draft for the 5 guys in the rotation, homegrown. And the reason that they were competitive in recent years, the offense came along this year to help get him over the hump, win him the division. Pitching, though, kind of took a step back because a lot of these guys were injured throughout the year. And in this series, the pitching has not been that good. Tonight's been a different story. Dance with the one who brung you. It's pitching that brought them into the spotlight. Could it send them to the World Series? 2-1 on Kirk.
And I'm still going to contribute some of that to being upside down in that 15-inning game. That just, it has a residual effect. It just wears you down over time, and then you ask guys to come back and pitch on short rest. Bryce Miller did an incredible job at that, but still, it adds up.
Woos 2-1. Kirk flies it into shadow center. It's down. A base hit in front of Rodriguez. Kirk's first hit of the ball game, and in the blink, Toronto has the tying run coming up.
Julio Rodriguez was in a tough spot there. If you go to sell out and dive and it gets by you, even though it is Kirk running, it's extra bases for sure.
So the first hit allowed by Wu in his inning plus. And now Dalton Varsho comes to the plate. We were talking with John Schneider before the game today about how Alejandro Kirk is just kind of laying there in the weeds. Feels like he's ready to go off. Schneider went out of his way to mention Varsho and said, I feel the same way about him, that he's a click away from having a huge swing.
And this is a good meeting at the mound here to go over exactly that, right? Hey, this guy's aggressive. We want to get the ball above the barrel of the bat. We don't want the ball down. That's his power stroke. If you get it in that nitro zone, he could tie the game up. So it's just a good reset of what you want to do in the game plan you talk about before the game.
Gabe Spires been up a couple times. Next lefty would be Barger, 2 batters away. Varsho hit 20 home runs in 71 games this year. Not close.
I love the first base coach going over to whisper something to Kirk. What do you think he's telling him?
Don't move. You say no problem. Don't have to tell me twice. Right center field for Robles. He's got it.
I'll tell you what, that was just a click off the barrel. That was that low nitro zone, and Varshaw just didn't catch it off the barrel. Well, it looked like he got better wood. See how it was off the end of the bat? That's the difference between that ball going over the head.
Clement. Ernie Clement. These fans love. Big hits throughout his career. He sent Virginia to the College World Series with a walk-off hit when he was a Cavalier.
And so now if you're thinking along, where's his power stroke? Middle of the plate up. You saw him hit the triple.
And got a bouncing ball to short for Crawford. Shovels it off to Rivas. And Brian Wu with a couple scoreless innings. It's 3-1. Seattle in front as Game 7 moves along to the 7th inning. We're back after word from your local Fox station.
Of the season.
Boy, no, it's going to be the Los Angeles Dodgers. Who's going to face them, Mariners or Blue Jays? It'll be Friday night, Game 1 of the World Series, 7 o'clock Eastern. Coverage begins 4 Pacific on Fox. If the Mariners hang on, that game will be at Dodger Stadium. If the Blue Jays come back, they'll host Games 1 and 2. Kevin Gausman out of the Blue Jays bullpen, home to Robles. His first relief appearance as a Blue Jay, where a starting pitcher has done this before, but it's been a few years.
And again, adrenaline gets you through, but I don't know that you can say you're going to be super crisp. And watch his split finger. That's the pitch he has, and the pitch he goes to probably throws it in his sleep. Fastball command, all those issues, those are the things you look for when a starter's kind of gone into multiple roles in a postseason.
Started Game 1, started Game 5, almost identical lines in those two games, 5 2/3. 2 runs in the first game, 1 in Game 5. Ball 2 on Robles. Nine 1-2 for the Mariners. Rodriguez and Raleigh. The difference in this game, they're coming up next. Gausman's 2-1. Down the middle, strike 2. High drive down the line, but hooking foul. Wow, home run distance to it. Down to Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, today is Kevin Gausman's typical day to throw between starts. He normally will throw 30 to 35 pitches in the bullpen, so his body is accustomed to this normal workload for him today.
34-year-old. Home of the 2-2. Robles fouls it back again.
Yeah, the only difference is the effort level is way greater than a bullpen, so it definitely intensifies. And pitchers who throw their bullpen are usually working on things and trying to get their arm, recovering from their last start. He's letting it go.
Yeah, 3 in the afternoon, nobody in the stadium. Check swing from Robles. He's worked it full. 44,000 inside the stadium and the whole country. Hoping Kevin Gausman can keep this right here. That high-powered offense a chance, of which they're running out of. The Mariners 9 outs away from their first pennant. Gausman's 3-2. Robles plugged back into the lineup, has gotten aboard twice. And now you got to deal with the guys that have made the difference in Game 7. Rodriguez, a double, a homer, 2 runs scored. Raleigh with a home run of his own.
Oh, what a night these two have had, and what a year they've had, right? And it caps off, and possibly caps off in this game. That's the beauty of this game. You could have a rotten month and be a hero in a game like this because you just have the slate clean, and somebody's going to move on and be happy, and somebody's season ends.
Ground ball to short, could be two. There's one. There's two. A 6-4-3 double play to wipe him clean.
The old tailor-made version on a guy that can run.
So they get Raleigh with the bases empty. Chris Bassett has already begun warming. Nobody warming in that Seattle bullpen. And instead of him facing Raleigh, who has homered against him 4 times in his career, including in this series, they'll put him on intentionally and go to work against Naylor.
That's pretty good respect.
Yeah.
You know what you do if you're Raleigh?
Steal second.
Seal back.
Let's go. Go on, Dumper. Naylor takes inside. He actually had 14 stolen bases, did Raleigh. Naylor 1 for 3, knocked in Seattle's first run in the first inning. Head 2-0. Mentioned that there is no action in the Seattle pen, and mentioned when Wu came into the game, you could foresee a path where you only use 2 pitchers to get to the finish line. He's gone 2 scoreless innings. They think they can get 2 innings from Andres Munoz, the shutdown closer. Means there's just 3 outs to pitch to him. And he is well rested. He's only pitched once in the last week. He's only thrown 19 pitches total in this series. Next inning will be a key one. 3-0. Ball 4. For the second walk, third with the intentional of this inning. And they're at first and second for Polanco.
They say the role of a president ages you about 10 years after 4 years. I think the next 3 innings is going to age Dan Wilson because of everything you've talked about and everything he knows, because he's lived it. And he is absolutely living it live right now.
Jorge Polanco, who has been the guy that they want up in the big spots in this postseason. He had the walk-off hit in the 15th inning of Game 5 against the Tigers. Big hits in the early part of this series here in Toronto. He said, look, first of all, I love these situations. I always hear you, John, talk about that. You've got to want these situations. He does. And then he said, from there, I keep it simple, and then I'm clutch.
Yeah, you definitely you want the will and the way to do these kind of moments. And what everybody forgets about all those game-winning shots that Michael Jordan made, he was willing to miss them too.
Miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Polanco took a change low. They're just trying to take advantage of the expected lack of command right here from Gausman. 2 walks in the 7th inning. Got the call. Gausman's 1-1. Polanco takes another splitter and is ahead 2-1. Jays have the bottom of the order coming up in the last of the 7th. 3-1 Seattle. Game 7. Winner to the World Series. 2-1 pitch. Sticking with it. 2-2.
If you're a left-hander, unless he makes a mistake with that and it comes in and pulls it, you're going to have to go the other way, or at least the approach is you've got to think about going the other way, because that pitch is going away from your barrel when thrown perfectly.
Deuce is wild in the 7th. 2 on, 2 out, and a 2-2 from Kevin Gausman. Bouncing ball to second. Kiner left at first. We stretch in Game 7. The Mariners 3. The Blue Jays 1. Your team, your players, your postseason. Follow all the postseason action. Download the MLB app, the #1 app for live baseball. Mariners have a 3-1 lead in Game 7. To the last of the 7th, Addison Barger leads off for Toronto, and Brian Wu stays in for a 3rd inning of relief. Bottom of the order for the Jays. Ball 1 from Wu. Can he get them to the 8th? Well, Munoz would be ready for 6 outs. They do have a couple guys stirring in the pen. Bizzardo has started to throw to be the bridge to Munoz if it calls for it. Barger, who's 1 for 2, fouls it off, and it's 1-1. Don't count the Blue Jays out. Franchise record comeback wins this year, and it does seem like any time that it feels like it's time to write them off, that's when they find their best. They were in last place last year to first place this year. Just look at September. The Yankees will look like we're going to overtake them and that they were going to blow the division. Well, they go on a 4-game winning streak to end the year, win the division. Down 2-0 in this series, rally back. Down 3-2, force a Game 7. 3-1 on Barger as they try to get off of the deck again.
Got to make this an action ball. You really can't give the free gifts at this point in the game.
Barger takes ball 4. Leadoff walk. Time run coming up. A quick word from Capital One.
What's been the highlight of your career?
And that'd have to be
Bank guy.
I've always been passionate about no fees or minimums on checking accounts.
What's in your wallet?
That is the 3rd leadoff walk of this game. One of them came in to score. The other one was erased by a double play.
There's a big hole between second and first base.
Connor Falefa shows bunt and takes a strike. Slugging wins. Blue Jays have 5 hits in this game, but they're all singles. 4 of the 8 hits for the Mariners for extra bases. 2 of them home runs. Jays still looking for that big swing. Connor Falefa fouls it off, and it's 0-2.
Well, it's been the double play ball yesterday that the Blue Jays benefited from. The Seattle Mariners got a big one last inning.
Ground ball, base hit center field. Bottom of the order, doing it again for the Blue Jays. Tying run aboard in the 7th.
Breaking ball just stood right there in the inner part of the plate, and he took it right up the middle. If he makes that pitch, turn the corner, it's a ground ball more towards shortstop.
Pete Woodworth, the pitching coach, coming out. Bizzardo continues to warm. Spire has been getting up and down as well. Let me ask you this, though. Why not consider having Munoz ready right now with the top of the order coming?
Well, the biggest reason is there's going to be a bunt here.
Not for this hitter. I'm saying
yeah,
get him up, get him ready.
Yeah, and the one thing to consider is what Munoz, I wish I knew how much he was throwing beforehand.
Hadn't warmed at all in this game. It's just Bizzardo and Spire right now. After Jimenez, who, like you said, is going to try to move the time run into scoring position, it's the top of the order. Springer, Lucas, Guerrero. There's the game. Six outs from your closer doesn't have to be the last 6 outs. Not these days. Franchise record, Major League high, 49 comeback wins for John Schneider's bunch. Jimenez to sacrifice. Ball 1. laid down. Wu to first. One away. Job well done by Andres Jimenez as Barger moves to third. Kiner left for the second. And George Springer comes to the plate.
That'll be it for Wu.
Top of the order's coming up. And Edward Bizardo, who's been one of the top relievers for the Mariners this season, is coming in. Game 7 hanging in the balance here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Top of the order for the Blue Jays. George Springer at the plate. Tying run in scoring position. Edward Bizardo on the pitch.
Well, you know, Springer, after getting hit in the knee, saw his series maybe not continuing. Well, not only is it continued, he's in a position to tie the game up and possibly send this Blue Jays crowd into a frenzy.
1-0. Bizardo heavily used 2 more innings last night, with the Mariners chasing that game from behind. That included facing Springer. One more look at him. The 1-0 pitch. High fly ball. Left field. Arozarena watches it go. George Springer has his Jose Bautista moment. This one deeper into the playoffs. This one could send him to the World Series.
It's not the World Series, but if Joe Carter had that jacket, he'd be wearing that jacket. Now that jacket has had the biggest moment of the year to this point on Springer. Frenzy has set him a little short. It's beyond frenzy here.
Lucas.
We talked about aging in the next 3 innings. That's a tough position to be in for Dan Wilson. Now they're still in this game. Don't get me wrong. They got 2 more cracks to tie it up. But that's where the questions go flying after the game, and you hope you don't have to answer them.
The 1-1 pitch. Fouled off 1-2. Base hit right field. Bizardo comes on for the top of the order homer single. Oh my God, says Ernie Clement. He is Canada right now. Ernie Clement, everybody's saying that. Vlad Jr. hooks a line drive right at Rosarena. Almost took his glove off. Back to the bag goes Lucas, 2 out. 113.
I mean, you almost got to go get them, but they've had nothing but rockets.
Four, 3 Jays. Kirk swings and misses. 5, 6, and 7 coming up for the Mariners in the top of the 8th inning. They will get the top of the order to the plate again in this game. Chris Bassett loosening still. 0-2 on Kirk. The aging thing. Probably age more when you're ahead, right? So now it's John Schneider's turn.
Yeah, but you want to be there.
I know. Man, oh man.
But we talked about it. There was going to be presented a situation of many options that were going to be critical if you got into a lead, which, again, the Mariners did. And you set it up. You talked about Munoz. Munoz has not pitched in this series hardly at all. And that will be the question. If Seattle does not win, fair or not, that will be the question that is going to be asked to Dan Wilson. And let's not forget, I know it gets a little bit overlooked, but to lead off walk.
Strike 3 call on Kirk. Yeah, you can't play with fire too many times, and they did. George Springer, one of the great postseason hitters of the generation, has launched a 3-run home run to turn this game upside down. It is 4-3 Blue Jays. They now are 6 outs from their first World Series in 32 years. George Springer has launched a 3-run home run to give the Blue Jays the lead. This place is going absolutely bananas. Chris Bassett's on to pitch. Rosarena leads off and bounces the first one to Jimenez. 1 pitch, 1 out. And that'll help you settle into an unfamiliar situation here for Chris Bassett. Starting pitcher for the Blue Jays on the season, working out of the pen here in the playoffs. His first appearance out of the pen, an encouraging one. 1 2/3 did not give up a hit in game 2. Now it's Suarez. Hero of game 5 takes a strike.
He provides a little different look. A funky delivery and change of speed. Slower breaking ball. There's the slow one.
Throws more pitches below 75 miles per hour than anybody in baseball. Double-barreled action in the pen. Jeff Hoffman, who threw 35 pitches last night. Along with Mason Fluharty. Outside ball 2. Julio Rodriguez is guaranteed to get another at-bat in this game. They need to get somebody on to guarantee one more AB for Cal Raleigh. Now the 2-1 pitch. Suarez takes strike 2. Count.
This will be a gutsy breaking ball here. He's had a good sinker that's beaten Suarez. At least hadn't taken a swing at it yet. He doesn't come off fastball.
Payoff. Got a fastball. Raked it foul. Got 3 2/3 in this game from their starter, Bieber. Varland 1 1/3. Dominguez a breeze of an inning. Gausman pitched around a couple walks to put up a 0. And now to their second starter pitching out of the pen in Bassett. Jays are 5 outs away from their first pennant in 3 decades. Another 3-2 pitch. Suarez takes strike 3. It falls out of the sky to get Suarez.
Well, he had the guts to do it after he fouled off that breaking ball. Man, it's a tough one there, and I think Suarez feels justified that that was not a strike.
2 outs for Crawford. Crawford, who had 12 home runs in the regular season, grounds this one to short. Jimenez up with it across. 1-2-3 8th inning. Chris Bassett. They can smell it in Toronto. Seattle Mariners in their 49th season. Closest they've ever been. 1995, they lost in 6 games. Same thing in 2000. They got it to a 6 game in both those series, but trailed 3 games to 2. Never before did they have a chance to clinch, like they did not once but twice, to advance to the World Series. They are the only team that's never been. Dalton Varsho leads off and bangs the first one that Andres Munoz throws into right field for a leadoff hit. Munoz into the game an inning too late.
So much energy that runs through this Toronto lineup. We talk about it, try to explain it to viewers at home. It's like you just don't find, other than Milwaukee, you just don't find 9 guys like this on today's style of hitting and what they're teaching hitting and the launch angle and the homers.
Clement squares and bunts it foul, looking for insurance here.
And so yes, the Dodgers pitched about as good as you can pitch to knock out the Milwaukee offense, who led a lot of offensive categories in contact, similar to the Toronto Blue Jays, but the Toronto Blue Jays have added that slug with contact.
Clement tries again. He pulled it back. 1 ball, 1 strike. There, they had not gotten an extra base hit before that home run from George Springer. We're talking about that just before that. The Mariners had the lead with the extra base power, the 2 home runs, but then Springer took advantage of yet another leadoff walk and knocked out a 3-run home run. 1 and 2 on Clement. You look in the wins in this postseason for the Jays, to your point, John, about them being more than just wear you out, bat to ball. In the wins in the postseason, they have 17 home runs in 6 games. In the 4 losses, what happens? That power goes away. They have 2 home runs. It's just as big as part of their deal as it is anybody else. They do this better than anybody, though. Robles is thrown, not close to in time. They've got him cornered with nobody out.
This was great running, and he deked Robles. I want you to watch how he looked like he was going to stop, and that split second is all Robles needed. Watch the runner. Okay, he's going to slow down and stop like I'm stopping, and then he gets it in fast motion. You can't see it as much as we saw it up here, and he did a great job. Just that little pause, and then he takes off to go to third, and I saw Robles look up like, oh, he's not going, and it was too late. The Toronto Blue Jays, relentless pressure at the plate on the bases.
Infield in, Barger up. That, by the way, those are the first 2 hits that Andres Munoz has given up all postseason. Ball and a strike. Mariners have 8, 9, and 1, due up in the 9th inning. Hoffman has resumed throwing. Barger lays off.
The reason Clement is not easily taking second base is you want to stay away from the line drive double play. That's the only reason you don't take second base, because they're going to give it to you.
On a 2-1, Barger pulls it to first, and it's a line drive double play anyways.
Oh, man.
Wow. There have been like a million double plays the last 2 days. This one goes Seattle's way, and they've got a chance to get out of this unscathed.
Oh, man. That's exactly the only thing that could have saved them, and it happened. Really, Clement, nothing you can do about that. Infield drawn in. He's getting a secondary lead.
Kiner Falefa. But once again, it was the bottom of the Blue Jays lineup that teed it up. Yeah, Springer had the big swing, but it was Barger that walked, and it was Kiner Falefa that singled to set it up last inning. Biggest difference between these teams, the lineup length. 0-2 on IKF.
Wow. Put on your seatbelts for the top of the ninth. I just think everything we talked about in the beginning has all come through. There was going to be a moment. We've had our moment. There's going to be one that's forgettable. There's one possibly forgettable. But ninth inning is coming up soon.
Rivas, Robles, Rodriguez with Raleigh if they get there.
You almost think they're going to pinch hit for Robles, maybe Canzone.
And it does look like Hoffman's going to come in. Let's get a quick word from FanDuel.
Make baseball come alive when you bet live this season with FanDuel.
Massive insurance run sitting over there at third, especially when you have him there with nobody out. It starts to smell a little funky if you don't get him in. Up the middle. Rivas is there, and somehow Munoz gets out of this inning unscathed. All right, folks, fasten those seatbelts to the ninth inning of Game 7, a 4-3 game. When this one finishes, stay tuned. KB, Alex, Poppy, and Derek with the postgame show presented by Strauss. For the Mariners, their last chance. It'll come against Jeff Hoffman. Because the Blue Jays have blown everybody out in this postseason, he's only had one save opportunity. He threw 35 pitches last night, his most in 2 years. Rivas, then a pinch hitter Canzone, then Julio Rodriguez. Here we go. A bunt, foul. That's even with Ernie Clement drawn in. Couple defensive changes. Miles Straw is coming to the game in left field. Lucas flips over to right. Barger's out. Four to 3 in the ninth. Hoffman fires. A little bit low. Hoffman gave up 2 home runs in 2 games in late August. Culmination of a year of giving up more of them than anybody in the American League. But over the last 2 months, a 1 ERA and only 1 home run allowed. His 1-1 pitch to Rivas. On the inside corner, strike 2. One-two. Good take.
That was a good take. He's been swinging a lot of those pitches earlier in the game.
The 2-2 to Rivas in the dirt. Ball 3.
Now once again an action pitch, meaning you don't want that free pass. You're not so much worried about him hitting a homer right here as you are non-competitive pitch.
Rivas starting the ninth. And he's down on strikes. Hoffman flames a fastball by him, 1 away in the ninth. "32 years, down to 2 outs. Dominic Canzone pinch hits for Victor Robles and takes the ball. Canzone is just 3 for 27 in this postseason. He was benched tonight, but the platoon advantage here comes off the bench. The 1-0 popped up. Kirk to the screen, out of room, and we get a quick word from Capital One.
With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn all of your purchases into extraordinary trips. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Much maligned bullpen for the Blue Jays tonight, getting help from a couple starting pitchers. Varland to Dominguez to Gausman to Bassett, now Hoffman, trying to finish off Game 7. The 1-1 pitch, popped out of his hand.
Canzone is looking for a pitch middle in that he can pull with power.
Rodriguez looms on deck. Canzone does have pop. 2-2.
Now Hoffman has one to play with. He hasn't thrown a good splitter to him yet, but he has one to play with if he wants to get him to chase off of that fastball.
Two pitch. Julio, the last hope.
Well, you know what's going through his mind. He helped start this 3-run scenario with his teammate on. He wants to give Cal an at-bat. Anyway, anyhow.
Rodriguez is ahead 2-0. Jeff Hoffman's 2-0. Swing and a miss. He got some help. A long, painful wait is about to end for one side. Which will it be? 2-1 pitch. Fouls it off, and the Jays are a strike away from ending theirs. He's worked it full.
Well, in the decision pitches in these 2 at-bats, he's gone to fastball and let it eat. I don't know if he'll do that 3-2 against Julio. Man, this is what it's all about.
A strike away for Jeff Hoffman and the Toronto Blue Jays. The payoff. And for the first time in 32 years, the Blue Jays have won the pennant.
God bless you. Double prop. I'm on this sound fairly no. DJ Softy man. I'm on you be. You don't know. Sugar. Love what you give to me. It's sweet past you got cane. I not go like you dey hide me past cocaine. See the way she just the wine. She the one pass up piano do. I swear to God, now she dey do me do. Comforting, give me love again. Give me love again. If you give me love again, I will never go away. Comforting, give me love again. Give me love again. If you don't give me love again, you go make me go insane. Comforting, yeah. Yeah, comfort your mama no more so. Yeah, comfort your reloki maybe. Yeah, combo no be reisa. Yeah, comfort, yeah. Yeah, comfort your mama no more so. Yeah, comfort your reloki maybe. My baby too fine, no, now so she dey beautiful. Anytime I see her face, you, I go just tell a fool. Now because of you, my guys them they call me big fool. Big fool, man. See the way she soft to you, she be like foo. Comforting, give me love again. Give me love again. If you give me love again, I will never go away. Comforting, give me love again. Give me love again. If you don't give me love again, you gon' make me go insane. Comforting, yeah. Yeah, comfort your mama no more so. Yeah, comfort your reloki maybe. Yeah, combo no be reisa. Yeah, comforting, yeah. Yeah, comfort your mama no more so. Yeah, comfort your reloki maybe. Yeah, combo no be reisa. Double prop. Yeah, God bless you know. I'm on this song, yeah. Double pull on the missing. Yeah, DJ Softy man. I see you. I'm on this song, yeah.
Как тяжко мертвецу среди людей, живым и страстным притворяться. Но надо в общество втираться, скрывая для карьеры лязг костей. Живые спят, мертвец встает из гроба, и в банк идет, и в суд идет, в сенат. Чем ночь белее, тем чернее злоба, и перья торжествующе скрипят. Мертвец весь день трудится над докладом, присутствие кончается и вот нашептывает он, виляя задом, сенатору скабрезный анекдот. Уж вечер мелкий дождь зашлепал грязью прохожих и дома и прочий вздор, а мертвеца к другому безобразию с крыши ощущений несет таксомотор. Как тяжко мертвецу среди людей, живым и страстным притворяться. Но надо в общество втираться, скрывая для карьеры лязг костей. Живые спят, мертвец встает из гроба, и в банк идет, и в суд идет, и в сенат. Чем ночь белее, тем чернее злоба, и перья торжествующе скрипят. Мертвец весь день трудится над докладом, присутствие
стоите на моем пути. Такая живая, такая красивая, но такая измученная. Говорите все печально, думаете о смерти, никого не любите и презираете свою красоту. Что ж, разве я обижу вас? О нет, ведь я не насильник, не обманщик и не гордец. Хотя много знаю, слишком много думаю с детства и слишком занят собой. Ведь я сочинитель, человек, называющий все по имени, отнимающий аромат у живого цветка. Сколько не говорите о печальном, сколько не размышляете о концах и началах, все же я смею думать, что вам только 15 лет. И потому я хотел бы, чтобы вы влюбились в простого человека, который любит землю и небо.